is used, it gets coded in that person's document, and then it's known how they're billed for what service that they were provided. And then identity management, that ensures that there are no duplicate records and records are properly identified. So making sure that when you're working with your physician, that the client or patient is actually utilizing their own file for their records. So next slide, please. All right. Regionally, I mean, when you go into health informatics and information management, there are all kinds of different jobs. So this is a list of just some jobs that were recently posted. So kind of compiled list. So you see different position titles. So you have a HIM coder, that's Shy Franciscan in Tacoma, an Epic application analyst. So anything that deals with analyzing the data, that's one of those positions. Registered health information technician, same thing. That's with the Department of Corrections and Monroe. Just all kinds of different positions, and you see these different titles, and they all kind of refer to the same training. So now you can kind of see 1 year experience is about 59,000, 66, 70, all the way up to 75 based on your experience. And so those are different aspects of what health data analysts get. And that's those that are actually analyzing the data that is collected. Let's go back to the slideshow.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so data visualization is one of those top skills that's really growing in terms of employment. And then new foundational skills of the digital economy. All these refer back to the analyzing of medical data and data in general. And so that's what the health informatics and information management all relate to, is how you're managing all that data. Let's go to the next slide. So at Shoreline, there are a few different certificate options, but they're all stackable if you're going towards the transfer degree, the health information technology degree. And so as you see, that Health Information Foundation Certificate, 19 credit program. Your health coding and reimbursement specialist is 60 credit, which almost is a little more than,
a little more than half.
Over a year and a half, yeah. But it's almost 2/3 of getting the whole degree. And then one of the newer certificates, which is kind of a second year certificate that you can earn if you're going through the degree, and that's the Health Data Analyst Certificate, which will really get into that wage earning profession that we were just showing you from the last slide.
So really, I think the key takeaway from this slide is that you can, while you're working on a degree, you will be earning certificates all the way up there. So, it's after your first certificate, the Health Information Foundation Certificate, you can add that to your resume while you're still working on your 2-year degree. So if you're looking for possibly entering an entry-level position, maybe it's with the filing, maybe it's entering or transcribing or copying or scanning the documents into the system, you have that certificate to get you that real life work experience while you're still doing your education. So the cool thing is you get to actually practice what you're learning and you're getting paid for it. And then while you're going through that and you're working on your next certificate, the Medical Coding and Reimbursement Specialist Certificate is one that's really popular at Shoreline. And that's because a lot of folks, maybe they were nurses before, maybe they thought they might want it to be working with patients in person and direct patient care. But then they decided that they like to be in the medical field, but not in direct patient. So a lot of them will actually do this type of work, which is the medical coding side. And that field kind of took off with the pandemic because a lot of people are working from home. because you have that flexibility as a, to work from home and do some coding for insurance companies, or from different medical offices. And then meanwhile, while you're working on that, again, you get another certificate and you're about almost halfway done with your degree. And then you get your 2-year degree, and then you can go right back to work. So the new health data analyst certificate that Russell mentioned, that just started in January for us. And that's actually a really popular certificate. And a lot of folks who have the degree have come back. And so folks who come back for that certificate have been doing medical coding, or have been doing, information data entry, and they're looking at now analyzing the data to understand the trends that Russell was mentioning at the beginning of the presentation. And then, of course, if you're interested in maybe going on for a long-term thing, there is an option to transfer to a 4-year program.
Yep. Cool. All right. So now, part of the program, one of the things is they have a great externship program they call Professional Practice Experience. And so, as you see, there's a list of different sites that have been utilized in the past for externships, including Chi Franciscan, Evergreen Health Kirkland, Harborview, Kaiser Permanente, Providence and Everett, Swedish, Virginia Mason, Aurora Acupuncture. So the list goes on, and I'm sure that there will probably be an expanded amount of practice partnerships. And then there's some feedback from students that really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to utilize the externship and see what they've learned, put into actual practice. And so that's a lot of what the comments are. And I'll kind of leave that here so you can kind of glance through them or read through them at your convenience.
Yeah, and the really great thing about it is, because yes, you get to practice what you're learning, but you're also networking, right? So you're getting into these different companies, whether it be Providence, Everett, or Virginia Mason, and you're talking to people and you're getting to know people. It's almost like a working interview, because when you do get that certification and they have an opening, you've already been there and you already know how the office runs. You're familiar with the people who work there. So you can go in and interview with that position for a position, because you've been doing the work for some time now, or you've been in that office setting. So there's lots of value in having that PPE experience. And a lot of the folks here, the feedback that we're sharing here with students, that's probably the biggest highlight for them, because a lot of them end up actually working at the place that they did the externship with.
All right. Yeah, let's go next. All right. So now, one of the things that makes the program unique at Shoreline is, one, the HIM program it was online before the pandemic. So it didn't have to go through any of the hiccups transferring into an online platform. It was already an online program. It has a reputation as a long time experienced quality online HIM program provider. And that's one of those things that's reflective of the partnerships that they have with the externships, those different organizations. There's a strong focus on real world experience, which is another reason why they developed those externships. And as you can see, the sub bullets, the hands-on electric health record experience, hands-on coding application experience, hands-on data analytic experience, and all of these are gained through those externships. Highly rated by graduates and employees. As you can see that some of those comments were from graduates, former graduates that really enjoyed the program. They felt like they really got what they wanted out of the program and led them to the career choice that they liked. There's a good partnership with employers, and so building those pipelines so you actually have a route once you complete to gain a career at one of those reputable organizations. And then they provide advising one-on-one supports all the way through, from the beginning to your graduation. And then one of the aspects that's been worked into the program is help with resumes, help with prepping for interviews, and helping prepare what it is that you foresee out of your career or what you want, and help develop that to get you there. And so that's what makes this program really unique at Shoreline.
And Russell, I just want to actually really emphasize that last point you meant about career support. One thing that the faculty for this, or the teachers for this program, is they want to make sure that you are supported, whether that's getting connected to resources on campus or connected to getting you prepared to get that job. Because the end goal is you're taking this program because you want to get to work and work in this field. So they do everything they can do to make those connections for you, just like that externship where you're going out and you're meeting with employers. They do a lot of support that what you hear from students, alumni from the program, is that the support that they have is why they were successful in the field. And that's why we were able to develop a new certificate for those students to continue to stay in the field and stay relevant.
All right. And so that is the overview of health informatics and information management. And so I welcome some questions.
I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing.
All right, perfect. And please feel free, if you have a question, you can unmute and ask, or you can use the chat box if you want to type in your question. All right, thank you, Inez. Yeah, so if you want, save that link, because that will take you to more information about the program on the Shoreline website.
I think what is cool about this program is employment rate. So the employment rate for the HIM program at Shoreline is 100%. That means every single student who goes through the program and graduates has a job. That's a 100% rate. And that's not very common, because not everybody goes to college to get a certificate, gets a job. But we can tell you that this is a field that is growing, it's booming. There's lots of needs. If you think about everything that's going on with the pandemic, there's a lot more need for people to do all this work. Especially if you think about like the testing sites, the vaccine sites, somebody has to log that, right? So this industry is booming. It's a great time to get into it. Especially if you're not too sure if you want to get into the healthcare, and you don't want to be necessarily taking blood pressure and checking vitals, but you want to be in the medical field. It's a good time to look into it.
Okay. Do you know of any icebreakers, Inez?
Well, what schools you guys from? You can use the chat or unmute.
I am from Truman High School.
Hey, welcome.
Remind me where Truman is. I know it's down south.
Yeah, it's by I think by it used to be where the $2 movies were in Federal Way.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Okay, Federal Way. Yeah, that is south. You got
Highline.
All right.
Wilson's Tacoma, right, Kathy? Kentwood. Okay.
Hi, Sophia. So at Shoreline, we are outreach. We tell folks about different programs that are offered at Shoreline. and help guide them to get connected to get started at Shoreline. As well as help folks understand what kind of other funding options they may be eligible for.
Here's another question. What grade? We have mostly sophomores, juniors, seniors, maybe any seniors. Okay, Sophia's a senior.
Okay, good mix. All right. Okay, now I got the tough question. What about health informatics brought you into this breakout session?
And you can't say you were forced to join a breakout room. I'm gonna just say that.
Oh, we got everyone on the spot.
Actually, I heard about you guys because of my advisory teacher.
Okay.
Nice.
So are you thinking about like maybe going into something to do with like the healthcare field in general, or you're really interested in like health informatics?
I want to be in hygienist.
Okay.
Oh, the dental hygiene?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dental hygiene is that's another a really popular program. Like Shoreline has a couple of really popular ones. One of them being automotive. If you're interested in automotive, we got everything and anything Tesla, Toyota. Again, that's a high demand program. Nursing is the next one. A lot of students. We have a very competitive program. Dental hygiene is another really popular program. We partnered with UW. So you do your first year at Shoreline, your second year, you're actually at UW and taking, you're working right alongside the students in the School of Dentistry. And the fourth program is HIM. A lot of folks, because we've always been online, like Russell had said in the presentation, we were online before all of this pandemic stuff happened. It's been over 10 years we've been online. So people come to Shoreline for those programs. I'm glad you're interested in dental hygiene. There's lots of different ways to get into the program, and there's lots of funding options. So like you could start off with taking your prerequisites, which are the classes you need to get into the program. And then from there, you can apply for the program. And again, everything we had said about like career support and helping you get connected and interning, Shoreline actually has a dental hygiene clinic, a free clinic that they have their students work at to get that real hands-on experience, and it serves the community. I'm going to drop an email address into the chat. If you have a question about any one of the programs, it can be healthcare related, dental hygiene, drop Russell or I an email. It's at connect@shoreline.edu, and we can get back to you, even if it's connecting you to a faculty member or just sitting down and talking to you. We can help you with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Inez. Yeah, that's go for it, Inez. You got it.
No, I was going to say Running Start's a really good program. Like they didn't have that when I was in school, but the fact that you could work on college credits and it's at no cost to you is probably the biggest asset. And then if you're not, like I didn't do very well in high school in a traditional classroom. But when I started college at a community college, I did really well because I felt like it was a whole totally different vibe. Like you're in classes with people who could be your parents, could be someone who's younger than you. It could be people who are, it's just a different dynamic. So I did a lot better in college than in high school. So that's why I always tell kids, like if you're in high school and you're having a hard time in class, Running Start is always a good option. Or if you're short on credits, if you're like maybe your junior year and it was a bit rough freshman year and you didn't pass math and you didn't pass science, 1 quarter at a community college equals a year in high school. So you can get caught up on your credits.
Well, actually, technically, you're advancing because you're still simultaneously getting those college credits as well.
Exactly.
All right. Oh, so it looks, I bet we better do some time management. So it's 1 minute until, so Candace had put the link in. Please, all in attendance, go ahead and fill out the form. And then, yes, I think we got to let everyone on their way just because time is about up. And I really appreciate you jumping in.